Squid Game shocked audiences with its brutal depiction of death, where characters faced lethal consequences in a deadly competition for wealth. So let's go over every single death in the show. Kang Sae-byeok, aka 67, after being mortally wounded by a glass shard during the fifth game, rapidly loses blood. As Gi-hun desperately pleads for emergency assistance, Sang-woo realizes Gi-hun might give up the game to save her and stabs her in the neck. Despite her tragic demise, Sae-byeok's remarkable strength and resilience earn her a third-place finish in the 33rd Squid Games, making her the highest-ranking female player in the competition. Gi-hun, on the verge of winning, turns to Sang-woo, aka 218, and offers him a hand, inviting him to abandon the game and return home. As they share a moment of nostalgia and reminisce about old times, Sang-woo hesitates, then reaches for Gi-hun's hand. In a heart-wrenching twist, Sang-woo grabs a nearby knife and stabs himself in the neck. As he bleeds out, he begs Gi-hun to use his prize money to help his mother. The declaration of Gi-hun's victory is a hollow consolation, overshadowed by the tragic loss of his childhood friend. During the red light, green light game, as the doll spun around for the first green light, player 324 shoved player 250, and they both sprinted ahead. However, during red light, player 324 stumbled and couldn't recover in time before the doll spotted his movement. As a result, he was shot by a sniper, marking him as the game's first. Believing his friend is feigning injury, player 250 approaches player 324. However, player 324 is actually mortally wounded and expires shortly thereafter. Player 250 attempts to flee the scene, but is detected by the doll. A sniper responds, striking player 250, splattering blood on player 306. The resulting chaos causes player 306 to panic and shriek, leading to her elimination as well. Oh Young-uk, who is 118, survives the initial chaos following the eliminations of players 324 and 250, advancing slightly before being shot in the left leg. Despite his injury, Young-uk manages to crawl to Seong Gi-hun, grasping his leg and pleading for assistance. Gi-hun breaks free and flees, abandoning Young-uk. Young-uk is subsequently detected by Young-hee and shot again, this time fatally, in the chest. Sae-byeok and Ji-young with number 24 face off in a high-stakes marble game. Sae-byeok makes her move, throwing her marble with precision. It lands reasonably close to the wall. Instead of competing, Ji-young deliberately drops her marble, ensuring Sae-byeok's win. Ji-young realizes she has nothing left to live for outside the game, while Sae-byeok still has a reason to keep fighting. As Sae-byeok is led away, Ji-young calls out to her one last time. With emotions overflowing, Ji-young thanks Sae-byeok for playing the game with her. Sae-byeok, overcome with anguish, can't bear to look at her friend in her final moments. She listens, devastated, as Ji-young is shot. Player 199, unsuspecting and trusting, agrees to let Sang-woo help him with his marbles. Sang-woo offers to create a cloth necklace to carry the marbles, using fabric from his own shirt. As they prepare to reconvene, Sang-woo suggests they split up to observe the other players. Sang-woo uses the opportunity to swap Ali's marbles with a bag of pebbles. With the clock ticking down, Sang-woo reveals his treachery. He submits the stolen marbles, securing his own survival while condemning Ali to a tragic fate. Ali's life is brutally cut short, and his body is coldly disposed of in a box, destined for incineration. Deok-su, with number 101, attempts to manipulate others in the fifth game, glass stepping stones, refusing to progress unless others take the risk. Mingo, fueled by a desire for revenge, grabs Deok-su around the waist and pulls them both off the bridge in a shocking act of murder-suicide. As they plummet to their deaths, Deok-su's desperate pleas for mercy are met with Mingo's mocking laughter, a chilling testament to the brutal consequences of his actions. Byeong-gi, player 111, continues to perform surgeries for the corrupt guards. However, the relentless pressure of the games and lack of sleep take a devastating toll on his mental state. After the guards reveal they are unaware of the next game, Byeong-gi violently lashes out and murders one of them before fleeing. He ends up in the Sugar Honeycomb's game hall. There, Byeong-gi and the pursuing guards are discovered by the frontman and his men. As a result, Byeong-gi is shot to death. Player 69 attempts to rally the remaining players, pleading with them to abandon the game, but he fails. The trauma of his wife's tragic death proves too overwhelming, and player Do-69's grief consumes him. He takes his own life by hanging, succumbing to the unbearable pain and despair. During the marble game, player 278 faces player 101. Player 278 confidently guesses 101's marbles correctly, irritating 101, who demands a change in the game for fairness. The employee agrees, and they switch to a marble tossing challenge. In the final rounds, player 278's marble accidentally knocks 101's marble into the hole. Panicking, player 278 tries to flee but runs into a dead end, shouting at the guards before being eliminated. In the tug-of-war game, player 19 and his team struggle, nearly falling to their deaths due to tactics from Oh Il-nam on the opposing team. However, player 194 manages to regroup them, regaining the upper hand and nearly forcing Team 4 off their platform. In a last-ditch effort, Cho Sang-woo devises a strategy, prompting his team to take 3 steps forward, causing player 19's team to lose their balance. Unable to recover, Team 5 falls apart, and player 19 is pulled off the platform, followed by the rest of his team, all meeting their deaths. In the Glass Stepping Stones game, Do-Jung-soo 17 uses his experience as a glass manufacturer to differentiate between tempered and regular glass based on light refraction. However, fearing that revealing his knowledge too early would make him a target, he keeps it to himself, waiting till all the players ahead of him are dead to inform the players behind him. When his turn comes, he carefully follows his strategy, attempting to gauge the glass panels by the sound of a marble. As time runs out, player 218 grows impatient and, frustrated by his hesitation, pushes him to his death, securing 4th place in the competition. During the Sugar Honeycombs game, Sang-hun 119 attempts to cut out an umbrella shape from his honeycomb piece, but accidentally breaks the handle, resulting in his elimination. As a guard approaches to execute him, Sang-hun retaliates by poking a needle into the guard's eye. He then takes a manager hostage, holding him at gunpoint and demanding that the guard remove his mask. After the guard complies, Sang-hun shoots himself in the temple, apparently driven by distress over the guard's youthful appearance and involvement in the atrocities. The young manager is subsequently shot by the frontman, serving as a reminder that revealing one's identity will result in fatal consequences. Park Ju-won 369. During the Sugar Honeycombs game, Park Ju-won selects an umbrella shape and attempts to cut it out of a honeycomb piece. However, he breaks the dalgona, resulting in his elimination. Ju-won begs for mercy, requesting one last chance, but is immediately shot in the head by a guard. He falls backwards from the top of the slide, leaving a trail of blood behind him. His death triggers a series of subsequent eliminations that occur shortly thereafter. Player 209 attempts to cut out a circle from the honeycomb toffee. Her distress causes her to accidentally break the top part of her candy, resulting in her elimination. Player 061's life is terminated with a single shot. Player 271 approaches Jang Deok-su, demanding a share of his food. In the ensuing altercation, a bottle is accidentally broken. The confrontation escalates, and player 101 physically assaults player 271, ultimately beating him to death. The speaker subsequently announces player 101's elimination. During the tug-of-war game, player 245 led Team 7 consisting of player 245, 120, 37, 408, 27, 273, 243, 58, 327, and 241 against Team 1, led by Jang Deok-su. Team 7 is quickly overpowered by Team 1, comprising physically strong individuals. As a result, player 245 and his teammates are pulled off the platform and fall to their deaths. Player 21 seeks help from player 453, but she misremembers the safe tiles. Receiving conflicting advice from players 151 and 244, player 21 chooses to go left and falls to his death. When player 244's turn arrives, he begins praying. Player 151, intimidated by threats from players 407 and 101, attempts to push player 244 off the bridge but fails. Instead, player 244 pushes player 151 onto a regular glass tile, resulting in his death. Player 407 then pushes 244 onto the wrong glass tile, resulting in his death. Players 133, 455, 152, 370, 217, 239, 20, 400, 248, and 157 are shot during the game. Red light, green light. Players 96, 308, 62, 21, 453, and 360 fall to their death after jumping onto regular glass panels. Season 2. During the red light, green light game, player Mina mocks Gi-hun's warnings, believing the game to be harmless. While playing, Mina teams up with another player, referred to as Thanos. When a bee lands on her neck, she panics and screams after being warned by Thanos. After calming down, Mina admits to moving, resulting in her immediate execution by a fatal shot to the back of the head. Her body is discovered by Lee Eun-ju, triggering a mass panic among the players. Following the completion of the red light, green light game, Namdoo expresses gratitude to Gi-hun and Hyunju for saving him. However, the celebration is short-lived, as No Eol suddenly shoots Namdoo in the head, resulting in his instantaneous death. Gi-hun and Jung-bae with number 390, out of ammunition, surrender to the soldiers. The frontman arrives, accompanied by the officer, and taunts Gi-hun about his heroic actions. He redirects his attention to Jung-bae, instructing Gi-hun to witness the consequences of his rebellion. Then the frontman executes Jung-bae with a shot to the chest. Gi-hun's anguish is overwhelming, and he struggles against the restraining soldiers, his eyes fixed on his adversary in a mixture of grief and fury. During the fourth round, player Young-mi is pushed to the ground by player 51 while rushing to a room with her teammates. Despite Hyunju's attempt to save her, Lee Myung-gi pushes Hyunju inside and closes the door, leaving Young-mi outside as time runs out. Young-mi is shot in the back and killed while trying to look at her friends through a hole in the door. During the Mingle game, player Deok-su is kicked to the ground by player Thanos, who is likely under the influence of drugs. As a result, Deok-su is left behind and fails to find 3 other players to form a group before time expires. While attempting to back away from a soldier, Deok-su is fatally shot. Thanos later appears to show concern for Deok-su's well-being. During the Mingle game, player 343, Sim Jae-seok, reaches the final round and attempts to secure a spot at a door with player 285. However, they are confronted by Hwang In-ho and Park Jung-bae, who also seek to claim the door. After Hwang In-ho throws out player 285, Jae-seok refuses to leave, insisting he arrived first. In response, Hwang In-ho fatally strangles Jae-seok and cracks his neck to eliminate him and secure his own spot. Hannam 15, who previously survived the second game and participated in the voting rounds, joins Min-soo's group in the last round. He changes his vote to X for the third time and participates in the revolt. While attempting to reach the control room in the management area, Han-nam is fatally shot by Hwang In-ho, who betrays their team. In-ho further deceives the others by mimicking Han-nam's choking sounds, falsely suggesting Han-nam's death was due to asphyxiation, rather than the gunshot wound. Player 324 participates in the revolt but becomes desperate as the situation deteriorates and ammunition runs low. With the guards closing in, player 324 finds himself with only 1 bullet left. Fearing capture or death at the hands of the guards, he makes the drastic decision to take his own life. Despite pleas from player 246 to reconsider, player 324 shoots himself with his last bullet, ending his life. Where the rebellion ultimately fails, and player 145 is forced to surrender. He is subsequently shot and killed by a guard. Player Byeong-gi participates in the X-rebellion against the soldiers, but becomes heavily outnumbered and runs out of ammunition. Byeong-gi begs the soldiers to spare his life, citing his sick daughter. Byeong-gi is subsequently shot by a soldier, although the location of the wound is not clearly shown. Sami 380 seals her fate when she fails to join Gi-hun's inner circle, leaving her vulnerable. As the lights go out, the players turn against each other in a desperate bid for survival. Namgyu, armed with the same fork used by Myung-gi, targets Sami. Min-soo attempts to save Sami, hurling a glass bottle at Namgyu from above, but unfortunately misses. Sami uses the shattered glass to fight back against her attacker. Despite her valiant efforts, Sami is killed by Namgyu's brutal assault. Players 455, 371, 115, 406, 292, 338, 262, 250, 20, 217, 66, 188, 2144, 355, 293, 237, 229, 165, 384 are shot by guards after moving during the game. Red light, green light. Players 216, 270, and 257 are shot by guards during the game. Red light, green light after being pushed by Thanos. Players 286, 45, 254, 395, 341, 16, 198, 189, 416, 178, 382, 273, 429, 14, 148, 4, 167, 437, 412, 206, 178, 212, 330, 32, 046, 135, 239, 26, 415, and 453 are shot by the guards after running out of time in the six-legged pentathlon. Players 43, 316, 313, 50, 239, 034, 38, 104, 109, 291, 309, 335, 345, 347, 365, and 368 are shore and killed after failing to find a room in the game Mingle. Players 185, 182, 102, and 406 are stabbed to death with a fork during attack night. In conclusion, while the deaths in Squid Game are intense and raise the stakes, they also add to the drama and tension that make the show so gripping. Each character's fate keeps viewers on the edge of their seats, and though the show is dark, its twists and turns keep them coming back for more. Ultimately, these shocking moments make Squid Game an unforgettable ride full of suspense and surprises. See you guys at our next adventure, and please, my friends, don't forget to like and subscribe.